Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Education on Monday, June the 24th. And we do not have anybody to lead us in the pledge, correct? If you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Superintendent, any comments?
Actually, just one. Not everybody in the audience may be aware of this, but this is the last Jefferson County School Board meeting for Mr. Pat Blanc and Mr. Ralph Dingus, who collectively, between the two of them, have more than 80 years of service for Jefferson County Schools. So. Me singing to them would not be, that would not be respectful, much less. Yeah. But.
All right. Thank you. And thank you both for everything that you've done for the school system. And don't worry, we still know where to find you. All right. Approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting held June 10th? Second?
Second.
Any changes or discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes of June 10th?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, citizens' comments. Ms. Ogden, are you available? Thank you. First up is Catherine Joswick, followed by Sean Amos.
Hello there. Once again, speaking to you. Summer's in session, no kids around. That's a nice thing for a break anyway. I just wanted to say I would like to express my dismay at the treatment that you received at the JCC meeting. I was not there. I came to the meeting before to speak in favor of the bond, but the meeting had been postponed. But I hope that you'll follow through with a special election for the bond, because I think it should be the citizens that decide and not just the Jefferson County Commission. I would like to thank you for standing up for the students' interests, whether it's the student center or funding the bond or preventing their exposure to pollution. I appreciate your vision, and I know that there are thousands of people who stand behind you. They still stand behind you, whether we can make it to every meeting or not. So thank you.
And after Mr. Amos, we have Mark Wilson.
Good evening, board. I wanted to say the same thing that Kathy said. I go to so many of these meetings, and I watch the way that some of you are treated recently. You know, when we first started coming here, you guys have heard a lot of people march across this podium and speak to you. I remember when the folk from Rockwell came in and did presentations for y'all and told you that it wasn't going to be a bad thing. I watched the way I came to all of the lawsuit that went down with Judge Groh, and I watched the shameful way you were treated. I could not believe it. I felt as though I had been kicked in the stomach when she gave that ruling from the bench. I could not believe it. I literally was sick to my stomach when I watched. And I watched the way that during that thing, I watched the way that Patsy Nolan sat back there with some of the folk that were kicking you. And now I watch the way that she is trying to manipulate this bond issue. The people of this county are behind you. Whether big moneyed interests are behind you or not, the people of this county are behind you. And it's the people who should have the right to make this decision, not the 2 or 3 people who, for whatever reason, feel the need to back moneyed interests over the interests of the kids. I have yet to see any body, any elected body, except this one, act in the public's interest. So I beg you to stay strong. Nothing worth doing is done easily. And it does not matter if you never win, as long as you never give up doing the right thing. So I beg you to stay strong. Do not Do not worry about the fact that victory does not come today. Your job is to do the right thing for the kids, and we know you guys are doing that. We've got your back. We support the bond. Do the special election. We've got your back. You guys are great.
After Mr. Wilson, we have Nicola Bastian.
It's hard to follow that act. Can I give him my minutes? I'm a little introverted, so I hope you appreciate how hard this is, but I feel like it's very needed. I want to come up here and express the things that you do for our community. You've been a valued support to me, to my daughter, to my son who will eventually be in the school system. So everything that you've been doing, I appreciate. I'm here to support the bond. This is democracy. Let's put it to a vote. Let's have the people vote on something and move forward with this county in the direction that we see fit. And so thank you for your support.
And after Ms. Bastian, we have Gina Biller.
Good evening. I'm going to change my tone because the spirit is so good that I will refrain from some of my comments, and I then instead bring you the report. I don't know how much was on the news because I don't watch television, but we were down in Charleston when the teacher strike was going on, and I want to tell you, those teachers were amazing. And I have to say that I was also surprised that the Capitol actually let them go and do their thing for hours and hours without security whipping them out. The problem was it didn't go that way, but I just want you to know that the teachers did their best.
And after Ms. Biller, it's Dana Anders.
I won't be long. I again want to apologize for what you guys had to go through at the JCC meeting. I wished I could have gotten there in time to sign up to speak, and I got there. I was going to be last to speak after everybody left, so it was too late. I did hold the sign up. I pray that as they saw that. And we support you in everything. You guys have been wonderful. I hope you can do this bond. I hope that you don't have to have the JCC's permission to have this election. And I think the people's choice is very important. And I think we should have a say where the taxpayers and our children, are all part of this whole thing. I support your regional student center, and I hope that you continue with it. Thank you very much.
After Ms. Anders, we have Jennifer Jones.
When is this really going to become about the student population in this county? In the past year, at meeting after meeting, I have seen the success and dedication of students, teachers, and administrators. This Board of Ed is behind all of that. Everything. I support the board, the bond, and I look forward to our new regional student support center. Thank you, Board of Ed.
After Ms. Jones, we have Ruth Hatcher.
Hi. I just wanted to apologize and feel terrible of the way you were treated at the Jefferson County Commission meeting. Thank you for standing strong. Thank you for continuing to put the students first. I support the bond, the vote in October, and the Student Center. So thank you for all you do to keep the students first. Thank you.
After Ms. Hatcher, we have David Tabb.
Yes, my name is Ruth Hatcher, and good evening to all of you. And I was in Charleston Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I had the delight to see about, 2,000 teachers in action and got to talk to quite a few of them. I was very impressed with their determination and their support for their students. Even with all the bad things they have to put up with, they were still very devoted to their students. And they were even teachers from all other states there, which was really great. Also got to meet Bernie Sanders' film crew. Bernie Sanders was not there, but his film crew was there. And so they are going to follow other states. And apparently West Virginia is so good. We're we're the start of the blue wave. So we are at top of the list, and so they will then continue on to others. other places that are following West Virginia teachers. And I'm trying to also get them to come up and do our story here in Jefferson County. So the film crew is out of DC. And I just want to tell you that we all support you. The help is needed for our students. If you don't support them now, you're going to have deficits in the community later, and those will be tenfold. So you better take care of the children now so that we all benefit from that. In case some people don't think it's important to help students, it's going to also help the others in the community as well. And I really don't appreciate children being devalued as they are in this community by some. They are worth every single penny that we pay in taxes to help our students. I just want to leave a note on that. Thank you.
After David Tab, we have Anastasia Tab.
Good evening, David Tabb, Jefferson County resident and substantial taxpayer. Now you know what I've been dealing with for 12 years from the Jefferson County Commission. You've only had it happen to you once. I've literally had it happen to me close to 100 times. I'm very diligent. I'm very patient. I hate no one, and I bring no animosity. One of the judges said, Mr. Tabb, why are you doing this? You know, you're not an attorney. Why are you doing this? Pay your taxes and get out of here. And I said, because I can. And I said, we have the rights in the Pledge of Allegiance. If that isn't part of it, then I don't know what is. Do I agree with the bond? No. Because you don't manage your money right. But you have the right and responsibility, if you think that that's what needs to be done, you have the responsibility to do that. But you also should put on that bond, and you can put anything you want. Let the people vote. Do they want Rockwool? You can put it on there. You can put anything you want on there. Let that also be part of the vote. The excess levy, you've already collected over $7 million more than you were supposed to. That's not a secret. It's right there. So don't put something like, if we get the money unconstitutional, we get to keep it. Please do not put that on the election piece. Because if you do, you know what I'm going to have to do. Sorry, it's what I do. The other aspect is change your time frame, please. I have everything ready to send off. I already got another statement from the Ethics Commission saying this is what I needed to do. And even with the sanctions that are on me, I don't have to get anybody's permission because the Ethics Commission already gave me that position, or position of what their authority is. Plus the fact is that you have to take it up before a competent court of authority, and we know for a fact that in the Eastern Panhandle, we have no courts of any level with any competence at all. How do I know that? Because I'm in every one of them, and there is no competence. So again, if you need my support on something, come and ask. I beg you. I'm very good at this, and I'm getting better every day. Y'all have a nice day.
Anastasia Tab.
Good evening. I just want to reiterate.
Well, that was a fast 3 minutes.
Thank you for your time. Okay. Just like everyone else had said earlier, that I, as well as most of the community members that I talk to, do support you going to a special election for the bond. I was not present at the county commission meeting, but I did watch it remotely and do agree that it seemed like you were treated unfairly at that time. I've listened for months how you've been going through the CEFP process, designing your 10-year strategic plan, planning for this bond. You know what's needed for our community, for the improvement of our schools and to maintain them. I support you in holding this special election, in the scope of this and the money that's needed and that we're asking for. The cost of the election is minuscule. And whenever there are other things that are needed, like maybe soccer fields or football fields, I'm sorry, but those are extracurricular activities. And if we can't move forward on the bond now, if we can't get those funds that are needed and we have to wait another school year, then maybe some of those projects that are extra, we do have to wait on. And it might hurt for some time, but eventually when we can, I just think that people so often forget about what's our primary needs are. And if we're not at times meeting those, or if our facilities aren't up to par where they need to be, then that's where we should first focus and build and maintain that. And we'll wait when the time is appropriate for those extra things. So if you need to move forward, of course, it would be nice to have the support of the county commission, but if you can't and you need to move forward on your own, so be it. At times, there are many of us in the community that want to help, but we don't know what we can do. Or for myself, I don't even know at times the proper way maybe to communicate with you guys or some of the councils. You know, we can put our voice out there, but you can't interact with us and we don't get the feedback, you know, in return to know how we can move forward or how we can help. And so I just encourage you, if there's other ways, whether it's social media or you know, I did see a response in the Observer that was dealing with some of the bond issues, but getting the word out there so the community knows how that they can help and be engaged with you. I would also ask, you know, if there's any, you know, thing you can do in that regard, maybe to get the word out there more and, you know, let us know. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you. All right, consent agenda.
Yes, ma'am. We actually have, related to my earlier comments, I am recommending to the board tonight the appointment of Mr. Sean Dilley as our new Deputy Superintendent for Instruction. And I'm happy to say that he was the first round unanimous choice of our committee. He's been a teacher, an assistant principal, a director, an assistant superintendent, and a superintendent, all in West Virginia. He's got more than 20 years of experience here. He's got a bachelor's from Fairmont. He's got a master's from WVU. He's close on his doctorate. And he's brought in over $250,000 in innovation grants for counties that he's been in. I feel really, really blessed to bring in his level of expertise and enthusiasm. So I wanted to introduce him to tonight, and he, you know, as you know, education's you have to be all in on it, so he's brought his village here for support. So if you could stand up, Mr. Dilley, and introduce yourself and your folks, that would be great.
Thank you for being here this evening. I have this evening with me my wife, Cindy, my niece, Mallory, my son, Levi, Mallory's husband, Phil, and my daughter, Summer. My other son couldn't be here this evening due to work obligations, but I appreciate these folks being here this evening, and thank you all for your consideration this evening.
Thank you.
Well, if you're 20 years in already, and you only have to get to 80, only 60 more to go.
I've often joked that I was going to die on the job, so.
But let's not joke about that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be any social security or anything.
All right. Well, welcome, and thank you all for being here to support him. Any other changes or?
No, ma'am.
All right. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second? Second. Questions?
26 and 27, PBS.
26 and 27. That is a good question. I would say pull them until I get those names. I don't know why would
It was the same thing with Jefferson High's band camp. They just wanted to submit that those were spot holders, that they've got people coming for those, but we don't have those names at this point. So,
We can pull them until
Yeah.
they do. Right. And again, this is a new process for the band folks because of the IRS audit, and they are scrambling to
Understand.
comply with it. But thank you for catching that, and we'll just keep pushing them back, and they'll learn the process and the timeline for not just turning in what things they have to fill, but you have to give us a name before we put it on the board agenda. So, thank you.
I had a question about our process. We went through a reorganization, and according to State Code 16 something, we're supposed to develop a salary schedule, and we haven't done that since 2007. And so, because we haven't done that, I will vote no on the new position because we don't have a salary schedule that I asked for it to be put on the agenda back in May, and it didn't happen. So I think we need to do things in order, and hiring new positions without a salary schedule, I think, is out of order. So I'm sure I'll be alone on that, but I just wanted to state my purpose in voting no on the consent agenda.
Mr. Cable, would you like to amend your motion to exclude number 26 and number 27?
No, not really.
They're the ones that are to be determined, so
I don't know how we can vote for a position if we don't know who's gonna be in that position. Well, we can vote for the position. We don't have to necessarily vote for the person that's gonna be in it. We're voting for just for a position. And I feel that's incomplete.
okay. So right now we have the motion of the consent agenda as it reads, including number 26 and number 27.
Well, somebody wants to amend it, they can.
Well, you did the motion, so we either need to vote it up or down, and then we can do another motion if need be. Do you
No,
understand?
We can amend this motion.
But you made a motion and you don't want to amend it, correct?
Well, that doesn't make any difference, somebody else can. There's a motion on the floor.
We have to deal with that one first.
Well, if you amend it, then you vote on that first, and then the original amendment, the original motion.
Okay.
Okay, let's start over again if we're gonna have I'll rescind my motion.
Okay. And Ms. Ogden, are you okay with that? All right. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the changes of removing 26 and 27?
So moved.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the consent agenda with the change of removing number 26 and number 27?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is number 9, the unfinished business of the bond call vote. And I would ask for a motion to move that to later in the meeting after our executive session, because we do need to discuss a couple legal things that go along with that. Is there a motion to move it to later in the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of moving number 9A to the end of the agenda?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, new business. Additional organization requesting school bus use for the summer.
This is just the same as last time where we're actually adding Shepherdstown Daycare. Shepherdstown Daycare is one of those groups that we use in the summer. We don't use, well, our kids go to Shepherdstown Daycare, so yes, they end up going there as part of the community. But basically, they pay for a bus to go places, and our buses take them. And this is just asking for our buses to take them, just like we did with the other ones. This one just didn't get in time for the last agenda.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the organization requesting the school bus use for the summer?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright. Thank you, Mr. Dingus. Oh, I guess you're still up, aren't you?
I'm up all the time here.
To bid the award for waste disposal and recycling services.
We'll be using, if you all pick, we got 2 bids this time. This is all of our trash, so you don't get a lot of bids in this situation. You get waste management and someone else normally. And in this case, the someone else we hunted down, trying to make sure we got somebody. Apple Valley Waste also bid. Apple Valley was high at almost $11,000. And Waste Management, who we're using right this moment, was low at a little under 10, $9,966.61. Now, it could fluctuate down or up in there a little tiny bit, but just on extra, sometimes you have to have extra pickups due to summer, because a whole lot of summer going on. Sometimes in the middle of the summer, we cut back and we don't pick up quite as much. And sometimes, like right before the teachers leave, there's a whole bunch of stuff there, and we pick that up. So this is slightly above what it is this year, but within $500. So it's sort of in the same kind of number.
Is there a motion to approve waste management for
Waste
the
management,
waste disposal recycling services?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions?
Just one question, is this a 3-year?
Yeah, it's a 1 year with, it's 3 years, 1 year with 2 years
Yep,
renewable,
got it.
yes.
Any other questions?
And you said it's within $500 of what we
It's
had
pretty
last
close,
year?
it's about within $500. They were low, also about like 1,000.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And finally, the bid award for the Jefferson High School athletic field maintenance.
We only got one bidder, we put it in the newspaper, we only got one bidder, however, it's the bidder we've been using, who is Clear Vision. They have done, I got a very nice letter from Jefferson High School's AD, praising how good the job they've done and how well it's taken care of. I know that the field has become 100 times better than it was when we started. And this has probably been going on for about 11 years. Because when we put the field in at Washington the first time is when the board decided that they would do everything they possibly could for Jefferson to make it as good as it possibly could be. They are supposed to mow it a minimum of 25 times. They mow it over 50 lots of times. They take great pride in the work they do there. So I have no problem. It's $7,700 some dollars. I mean, I have to look.
79.
79, I'm sorry. I had the other numbers up too. We also pay them additionally for lining the field. And that's just paid by each time that they line the field. This is, again, was a equalization theory. You don't have to line a turf field. And for that reason, they were trying to offset some of that timing. But those are the two things under that contract.
All right, is there a motion to approve Clear Vision as the award winner for the Jefferson High School athletic field maintenance bid?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I have a quick question for you. On that field lining, it was, what, like $600 or something?
Each
a
time. Mhm.
And do they do that before every game? Is that how I read that?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless it's still in perfect shape. Now, of course, in general, they do that. But in general, as an AD, you do that every game. It's kind of an AD thing.
Is this in addition to the 7,900 or
Yes.
includes the 7,900?
No, it's in addition.
So do we know about what that cost is and where it comes out of?
It comes out of maintenance. And it comes out of a fund that we've put that money into for this funding. I think it's field, lawn care. I think it's in lawn care.
You know
in
about how
maintenance.
much for the year?
I'll have to get back with you with that.
I think their cost on grooming the field and their maintenance of the field is a very good cost. And for them, if you read the dialogue afterwards, they only use certain mowers for those fields so they don't spread weeds and things of that such. So their detail in this contract is pretty precise.
Yes. Well, and that includes the aerification, which I had no idea that aerification got that hard until I started talking to these people. But actually, they cut little plugs out of the field, and after they core and plug the field, then they break those cores up to make sure that the dirt gets back into the hole that they've created to allow the grass to grow better.
Overseeding and fertilizing and all that, as well as pest control. I mean,
Yeah, it's all in there for $7,900.
Any further questions? All in favor of awarding Clear Vision the Jefferson High School athletic field maintenance contract? Say
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So do we have a motion to go into executive session for legal?
so moved.
Second? All in favor of going into executive session for legal?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
And we'll be